want to talk about the origins of Prythian, but this is going to be Maasverse spoilers. If you haven't read everything, you know the drill. Pause this video, save and come back. I've been deep diving, and then it just spiraled out of control. More research and more research. I've been months stewing on these theories that just built on top of each other, and a lot of them stem from the origins of Prythian, some to do with the origins of what we learned in Aurelia. It's multiverse style. It's multiverse. There's going to be an unknown number of videos in this series. The series I'm calling, how the fuck did we get here? How did we get here? I know that I've come on here and I've said the Daglan and the Asteri, they're supposed to be the same thing, but they're not. I don't think that they are. I think there's a couple possibilities for what they are. So we're just going to talk it out. Okay, that's the fun part. I've avoided getting into this conversation because I myself have not decided if I think that Valg and Hell are the same, or if Valg and Asteri are the same. For the purposes of this video, we are going to assume that Valg and Asteri are the same on a spectrum, and I'm going to explain to you why I think that is. Side note, is it entirely possible that the Asteri in Prythian are Valg-infected Asteri, and that's why they have the Daglan Valg? Yes, I've said it myself. Don't forget, on this page, we post theories that might conflict other theories. It's just fun, okay? I'm going to tell you exactly why I think that the Asteri and the Valg are two opposite ends of a spectrum. Let's just say that you've already done all the research for all of the overlapping between Valg and Asteri, because I'm not doing that in this video. Tons of people who have put out evidence for why Valg and Asteri are very, very similar. We're just going to jump right past that. The main difference between them is what they consume. One of them consumes light. One of them seems to consume pain, feelings, all of these things. Consider this. The brightest minds of the Asteri leave. Others leave. I think that Daglan are probably later stage of the brightest minds. Okay, the brightest minds, the physicists, the smarty pants, they leave. Then time goes on, the world's dying more and more, then you have more of these beings who are still Asteri, who still have star magic. They leave their world walking, they're traveling. The beings that stay and then end up adapting to this dead world, those are the Valg. They consume fear, but do they? Or do they use fear and pain as a means of accessing their magic? And I think that without having to give a lot of examples, I think that you could imagine how that would work. It makes sense to use emotion to have someone relinquish control. And if that's what they're doing, and if they are a late stage Asteri, it would also make sense that they don't have the tools, maybe the innate ability to siphon magic in the same way that the early bright mind Asteri did. So could this be like a defect, or this adapted version of the Asteri where, again, instead of consuming starlight, they're using fear and this sort of manipulation tactic to cause this distress on these people, who are then releasing their magic and focusing on pain rather than safeguarding their magic. In the same way that Rhysand warns Feyre, protect your mind, people are going to try to sneak in and get into your mind. This is a way of doing that by causing someone tremendous grief. It's a backdoor technique. If Valg are late stage Asteri, they are using an alternative method to collect magic. Maybe not the same magic. At this point, it's probably elemental magic that they're consuming, especially from what we know of Aurelia. They do have elemental magic. It could be different. I want to tell you why I think they are the same. This is proof. It all comes down to Deathmaidens. In Valg world, Throne of Glass, Erewhon tells us that there are Deathmaidens in Valg world. And not only are there Deathmaidens, but he had to use every last one of them to unbind the keys from the gate. But when he speaks to Yrene, he tells her that it would only take her, just one, to redo or to perform the same amount of magic to the same degree. That's interesting, because Yrene is human. And a human having magic is already rare enough, but it's still beneath Fae. Okay, so a magical being on a separate planet is so much weaker than Yrene that they need an undisclosed number of them to match just one of her. Let's consider what Yrene is. Yrene is of Asterian healers. Her magic, the magic of healers, comes from Asterian Fae, the magic that was put into the land that just so happened to be granted to humans. That never happens. It's not happened anywhere else. So Yrene's and the humans' healing magic of the healers in the Torah is from Asterian Fae healers. What are Asterian Fae? I've said before, I think that Asterian Fae and Starborn Fae are the exact same thing. what are Starborn Fae and Asterian Fae of? They're of the Asteri. They have to be born of the Asteri. It just makes sense. That is an assumption at this point, I guess, but they have to be. I think that Vesper is Thea's mother to some degree. Okay, so what we get from that is technically Irene is of an Asteri. We also have in Acotar, Aquawar, and Silver Flames. I have a video about this that I will tag in the caption, where I basically go through Nesta and Vera being Deathmaidens. Flat out, they're Deathmaidens. They're Fae Deathmaidens. So they are, I'm assuming, stronger than Irene. I don't exactly know. That's up for debate. But in Acotar world, Starborn is definitely of Asteri. So we have Fae Deathmaidens, we have human Deathmaidens, and we have Valg Deathmaidens. And it would seem that they would get weaker the closer you get to Valgdom. To me, this just means that the Valg Deathmaidens are a less potent version of the full-fledged Asteri Deathmaidens. And maybe we don't exactly know what that looks like, but we do know that First Light is grade A healing magic. And I'm going to come back to that. I have pages and pages and pages of things I want to discuss with you. We're not done. We are not done. I've been working on this for a really long time, y'all. It's choking. It's suffocating me. Okay, I just spit. I need to get it out of my body. I can't make any videos until I get this out. I'm coming for you.